Alright, Avengers here, West Coast Avengers, issue 87, guest starring Wolfman. This is part 1 of a 2-issue chiller in the frozen Canadian wilderness. I swear, this is not me trying to replace me channel with an Alpha Strike fan channel. Even though he isn't on the cover, this is really an u.s.agent story. Roger Thomas and Bob Ross are the creative team. One problem I have with these videos is that I generally record them the day before they go out on air, and I have been avoiding reviewing any Roger Thomas comics because I am worried he will die in the 24 hours between recording and publishing a video about his comic, and I will seem incredibly insensitive or oblivious. We have a team of superhumans from Russia. They invade Canada and they seize an army base, a monitoring station, and we will come on to the Russian bad guys in a bit. But here is a comedy scene with u.s.agent and Hawkeye bickering in hospital gowns. And there is u.s.agent's bottom. U.s.agent, he gets a call from the government about the attack on the station, and he has got a gun and investigate, but the government didn't want the Avengers involved because it is an international thing. But at the same time, the Avengers get a call to have a group meeting. Wolfman is casually in Canada and he gets involved in this plot to help with the sales. And our bad guys, they are loosely meant to be a Russian version of Fantastic Force. They mostly have different powers, but there is 4 of them. This is Russian Invisible Wife. None of them appear again or have memorable names. She is called Morning Star, and she has like human fire powers a bit. She has some fire powers. This other one, I read this last night and I can't even remember his deal. Wolfman, he gets beaten by them, which seems like a writer disrespecting Wolfman a lot. Very bad for him. And once again, Iron Man is an awful Avenger. He has faked his death for about the 14th time, and all his friends and teammates are left to mourn him and pick up the pieces and even be surprised by learning about it from the news. So he is just putting his friends through the grieving process while he rests on his laurels in his secret basement. And u.s.agent, he doesn't care. He just wants to leave to guarantee his job that the government have given him. And Charlotte Witch and Wonder Man, they notice that u.s.agent is acting even more stubborn and odd than usual. So they suspect that something is up and they decide to follow him. Then a quiet moment with Spider-Girl and Flaming Lightning. 2 characters who got buried after the 90s. So u.s.agent, he gets to Canada, and Charlotte Witch and Wonder Man are hot on his tail, and he gets accosted by some soldier boys. But u.s.agent is a super strong, trained fighter, so he easily dispatches them. He is then confronted by one of the Russian Fantastic Force. I think he's meant to have powers reminiscent of Invisible Wife. He is like a psychic, telekinetic, so he can just fling u.s.agent around and away. He would be the second member of this bad guy team that seems to have some potential, in my opinion. Never appears after this two-parter. So he ties up u.s.agent and then throws him into a lake to drown him. Then we have Wolfman, who has been captured by Russian Fantastic Force. And now we meet their Mr. Fantasticals, who has the same powers as Mr. Fantasticals. And he is doing the classic villain trick of explaining his evil plans and his evil motives and his evil backstory to a captive audience. And we get very quick, fleeting mentions of each of the team's origines. And Russian Mr. Fantasticals, he wants to start a second Cold War. I remember a review. A lot of my videos are mentioning reviews that probably cannot even be found online anymore. I remember a review of this one, proper moaning about these baddies, barely even offered an opinion, just moaned about how unacceptable a plot about Russians wanting to start a second Cold War is in the 90s. So Charlotte Witch and Wonder Man, they save u.s.agent from drowning, and in typical John Walters style, he isn't very grateful. Wolfman escapes, and it is here we learn that Russian Mr. Fantasticals has Stretch Armstrong powers. And we end with the Avengers characters somehow walking in on this scene with Wolfman. And here is our Russian Fantastic Force all together. Not the worst characters. If they add further appearances, stuff could be done with them. They are, in my opinion, acceptable. This is harmless. It is a gratuitous Wolfman guest appearance, but I didn't find anything else too egregious to warrant the level of dislike and the D- rating that reviewer gave it. It's nice to give u.s.agent something to do besides get on everyone else's nerves. I'll give it a 7 thumbs up minus.